Olafy Pros, now we're running an experiment right now. As you can see, I've got an extremely handsome dude to my side, Josh Vago, which I'm really going to want you to get a really good idea of what Josh has been able to go through. Now, this is a free and live coaching session simply so we can answer for you what it is that you need to be doing to be able to grow your business. I've actually had 3 questions come through that I want us to be able to go through. If you have any questions whatsoever at all, just comment below with them and we'll be able to answer them. If you're watching this after the live recording, that's perfectly fine as well. Ask them as well because we're going to be doing this each and every week to be able to help you. Josh, thank you so much, brother, for jumping on with me. This is exciting. Technology is working with us.
Great to be here, brother. Let's smash this.
Okay, let's get rocking and rolling. The first question that I want to be able to answer for you that's come through, essentially it was, what do I do? Because what I'm doing and what I'm copying from what I see others doing isn't working. I had a call with a coach earlier on this week and essentially was like, hey dude, I'm working hard. I'm doing what I think I should be doing and what I see other online fitness coaches doing, but it's not working for him. And I was like, okay, cool. This is something that we see really, really often with coaches coming into the cartel because they're seeing what other people are doing and they're trying to duplicate it, but they're not understanding what's behind the scene. So what I'm going to do right now, I've got my iPad with me and we're going to jam to go through this. And Josh, at any point as well, I want you to jump on into this so everyone can understand what's happening. The first thing I want you to understand, and just so you know, this is going to be like 70% theory, 30% theory, more like 70% practical. So you want to be able to work with us as we go through this. What we've created inside of the Coaches Cartel is what we call the yellow brick road. Because to be perfectly honest, you growing a fitness business is not rocket surgery. There are some principles, there are some proven principles that we just need to be able to follow to be able to make this happen. So if you can grasp this, this is going to make your life so much easier. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections to the yellow brick road. The first one is what we call incubation. So when getting started, this is usually between the $0 to $6,000 a month mark. Then there is ignition between $6,000 and $10,000 a month. Then there's acceleration from $10,000 to $25,000 a month. Domination, $25,000 to $45,000 a month, and then abundance getting to the $1 million a year mark and above from there. Now, the idea of this, and something I want to go deeper into with here, and I want to actually show you something that I just want to pause for a second because I want to bring Josh into this because Josh is the person that is allowing or not allowing the people to come on board. Essentially, Josh is the actual strategic coach to make sure you have the plan set aside from what it is. So when you book in to have a strategy session with us, and if you're talking with Josh, you're going to be walking through what this scale plan is that we're looking at right now. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of things because there is something that you're going to need to understand because what we just looked at here, this is the same kind of diagram that we're walking through. This is the yellow brick road for how you be able to grow that fitness business. And the first thing you have to understand, it goes back to the question, is essentially going to be, where are you right now? So literally, where are you right now? If you're under $6,000 a month, you're in the starting what we call battle mode. Then after that, under $10,000 a month, you're in ignite. Then under 20, growth, 45, freedom, and then 83 and above, you're in abundance mode right now. So where are you? Because let's just say for a moment, you're between $6,000 to $10,000 a month. That means you're in the ignition. That really means there is a couple things we need to focus on. 1, you need to be able to have better leverage of your time and have better cash flow. 2, you need to focus just on lead generation and making sure you have a converting offer. Now, Josh, I want you to jump in here. When it comes to this, because we see this so often, what's your advice for when someone is in, let's say, ignition mode? Let's say they're under the $10,000 a month mark.
Yeah, there's a couple of points here that I want to mention because this is what I've literally with the hundreds and hundreds of conversations I've had with coaches in these last 6 to 12 months here. As a guy that also is a fitness coach, I'm not some business guy. I'm a fitness coach, just like everyone else watching this video, kind of made it to the other side. A couple things I want you all to consider. Here's just a high-level concept that we all should have been taught through our certification that our certification did not teach us. There are 3 parts of our business. Attract, deliver is our model. In other words, the normal people terminology and not the sexy business terminology is marketing, sales, and delivery of coaching. in this stage, this 1.0 version of your business, which once again, be okay with the 1.0 version. Everything doesn't have to be perfect right away. A lot of this is repetition, trial and error, testing things out. Be okay with having a little bit of marketing set up, a little bit of sales, and a little bit of delivery. So when it comes to marketing, for example, social media content, go back to the Facebook group. Everyone inside this is inside the Facebook group. Go back, search my name, Josh Vago. That's Vago. You'll see my coaching session I did on the 4P framework for shooting social media content. This is one of the frameworks we give our clients inside the Coaches Cartel. This is one of the principles that's responsible for me coaching 15,000 people worldwide in the last 4 years. I do not give myself enough credit probably for the work I've done, but I always give the strategy, the process, the systems as much credit as possible because I'm a regular dude. I'm a little higher energy than the typical person, but I'm a regular guy. So marketing, if you can clearly articulate a message to a specific type of person, this is what you talk about with a target audience or niche, you've got to know that person like the back of your hand, right? Are we just taking a picture of our biceps and our butt and post it on social media? Or are we telling a story? Are we calling out our target market in the first 3-second video? Are we talking deeper than just 3 sets of 12 or 75% of a 1 rep max? Are we connecting with people on a deep emotional level? That 4P video framework will help you tremendously with that. It'll help you craft your voice, your message, and your brand. I think you have to have clarity on that. That is the first and foremost thing that we got to talk about. Then sales, the dirty word of sales. Years, whether it's online, door to door, I've done door to door, over the Zoom, over the phone, face to face. At the end of the day, if I was to boil down sales here, I know I'm going on a little bit, but things like the foundation that I say, what do you do from a technical perspective, and how do you emotionally give people benefits from each one of those little technical things you give them? So you're not just saying, hey, I give you a meal plan so you know what to eat. Hey, I'm giving you a meal plan so you know that you can enjoy your life while getting the right handle school events, how to handle those times where you're busy and on the go. How do you still make wise choices while on the go? So you're just peeling back the onion and going so much deeper than most fitness coaches go. At the end of the day, sales is helping people. How do you communicate what you do in such a way that helps people and doing it in a genuine manner? You don't even need a lot of time of a script as most people think. Can you simply transfer that intent and that energy to the other person, as well as being able to handle some objections? And then last but not least, I'll finish this up because I know we're going on delivery of coaching. Do you have a duplicatable and real problem through? Do you know exactly what happens on day 1? Do you know what happens on day 4? Do you know what happens on day 7? Are people filling out a questionnaire? Are they having a kickoff call with you? How are you giving workouts to them? Are you delivering something like through the My PT Hub app? Easy for me to say, that's what I suggest. It's what I've taken a lot of clients through. What are we doing with nutrition? Are you doing a weekly check-in? Are you doing a bi-weekly check-in? Are you doing a group call? I suggest for delivery of coaching, have like a day-to-day access point. So 5 to 10 minutes. There's probably 30 grand worth of value in this. Day-to-day, you could give someone your email address and spend 5 to 10 minutes every morning answering the questions like, should I sweet potato? And then you say, hey, I'm glad you're not eating McDonald's. I don't care. Communication point. Week to week, you could have a weekly check-in sheet that you spend 60 to 120 seconds going through and giving them a couple pieces of feedback week to week. So they have some accountability, something to look forward every week. And then maybe on a monthly basis, you jump on and do a group Zoom call with your members. So then it can have kind of that CrossFit effect. One of the reasons why I think CrossFit has blown up in the last decade is that it's basically a cult. You kind of want to have a cult for your business. You want people to follow you and be very much so excited about what you do. So maybe on a monthly basis, you jump on with all of your members and do a group Zoom call. So I know I completely went way longer and in more detail than I should have said, but 1.0 version of your marketing, sales, delivery of coaching, that's what these people need to do. This is what I've been talking about since 7 a.m. this morning, and it's 7 p.m. right now. This is the foundation.
Dude, okay, amazing. You can see Josh is spitting absolute magic. We just had a comment come in saying, can you write what was said in the list? I missed that first part. What we'll do is we'll put this entire coaching session up so you can rewatch it, just so we can make sure that we keep moving and grooving. Josh, you brought up something brilliant, and that's going to go into the second question that we want to answer. So really quickly, just to make sure that we can continue to wrap the first question up, is The idea is you must understand where you are in your business right now. This is literally the process that we take someone through. So at the beginning, we're going to be like, well, where are you right now? Where is your current business? Who are you serving? How are you serving them? Then what are you working towards? What are the goals that you want? What do you want to achieve? How much money do you want to earn? Where do you want to be working from? Then the other question is, well, what do you need to be able to get there? Then what we go through is we go through the genius model. This is what we use inside the cartel to understand, because there are 9 factors. All of these outside, these are 9 systems that we need to make sure that you have set up. If you do not have them set up, then that is going to be a gap. That's going to be a hole inside of your business that we need to be able to go through. And then we go through actually figuring out where you are exactly. So we go through each of the 9 steps and we rank you, because then we know if you've got a bit of a Swiss cheese problem, you've got holes that we need to be able to fill. Then we go into a very nitty gritty, where are you? Because then we know we have a very good idea of the problems that you will be having by that time. And then we will know exactly what it is that you need to do to be able to solve those problems. So that's as hard as it gets. Now, before we jump over into the next section, because what I'll do is let me move over to a new coaching session if this wants to open up. Booyah. Let's open this up. Now, Josh, I think a few people might have glazed over what it is that you said before. How many people have you coached online so far?
Yep. So I started the online coaching thing back in 2017. And now it's 2021 when we're shooting this video. I've coached, been very fortunate, also worked my butt off to have coached 15,200 people worldwide online.
15,200 people coached online. Josh knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to this. So Josh, what I'm going to do, dude, I'm going to get my iPad up and we're going to work through a couple of things that I would love for you to captain us as we go through this. When it comes to setting up your coaching program at the end of the day, what I usually like to start off with is going to be something like, well, 1, what are you actually giving your client? 2, why are you giving it to them? 3, when are you giving it to them? And then the next is, how long does it take for you to be able to actually serve that client? And it looks like my ugly mug is in the way, so I might be able to drag my face away. So if we look at these 4 little columns right now, we can set up a coaching program. Josh, do you want to run through really quickly how you like to take a coach kind of through this and using a really basic kind of framework as to what an online coach will do when it comes to being able to set up their coaching program?
Absolutely. I'll try to keep this super simple and a little bit shorter than the last one. So first, what? Let's call it the training.
Yep.
So this is the exercise. We all know as fitness coaches, whether you are a yoga person or a power lifter or a bodybuilder, you've got to move your body to some extent. This framework kind of works for everyone. So training. Why do we give someone training? So the why here, which kind of goes back to what I was mentioning with sales, all of your delivery as well as sales and marketing processes should align. If there's not alignment between those processes, something is broken. We got to figure that out. So why do we give someone training? So they know what to do and when to do it. So there's no guesswork for them. So we're removing that gray zone of ambiguity.
Beautiful. What about the when?
We're giving them direction.
How often would a coach do this with their own client?
So in my opinion, this is the one that varies a little bit because some people have different coaching philosophies. But for me, I found 8 weeks giving them a new training program was perfect for my people, right? 4 weeks, it's one of those things where, man, if you switch things up too often, for me, I like a little bit longer of a training program so you can have some progressive overload. But then I found 12 weeks was a little bit long, and that gets a little bit vanilla, and people can't usually stick with that. I would say between 4 to 8 weeks is awesome.
Amazing. Okay. And if you're producing a training program for a client and doing it every 8 weeks, how much time does that take of you, Josh, as the coach producing that?
Here's what I would do if I was the other person on the side of the screen right now. I would make your workout program. It might take you 30 to 45 minutes per program to create.
Yep.
But then with most apps that you use, particularly I keep bringing up here, you can save that workout as a template. So when you have clients that come on board, that have similar problems and similar goals and all that good stuff, you can use the template, tweak the template, and then be able to roll with it from there. So you work hard up front, but this is the system and process. So you make it once, and then you don't have to take 30 to 45, and it becomes 5 to 10 minutes every time.
Yes. Okay. Amazing. So, if we had to calculate this into a month, Josh, how long do you reckon a coach would spend with one client creating their training per month?
If you're spending more than 30 minutes per client per month, something is wrong.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, dude, this is really good. Let's go through one more example because I'm loving this. What's another what we can go through?
Let's actually talk communication. So the actual relationship between the coach and client.
Comms? Yep.
So why do we give someone? There's a lot of reasons why. There's that magical word called accountability in coaching. You need to know, and they need to know that they're either doing what they need to do or not. Because particularly with online coaching, you're not there with them face to face. And this is where the adjustment and transition for a lot of face to face coaches going online can be tough to getting that immediate gratification and immediate feedback because you're there with them. Online, how do we duplicate that? I gave you the examples earlier with delivery of coaching, with check-ins and all that good stuff. So why? The accountability. Also, the actual relationship of having that client understand that you're there for them.
Yes.
That is a wildly powerful thing in coaching. And it's something almost all of us as coaches overlook. Because we obviously know the value of what we do because we all think we're amazing. But when you take a client that has not looked, felt, and operated the way they wanted to pretty much their entire life, actually having someone in their corner, rooting them on, giving them what I would call a pat on the back or a kick in the bum, whatever they need in that moment, that is wildly valuable and will increase your retention if you can deliver that to people. So so I think accountability and relationship, I think are the two powerful things, as well as that concept of what gets measured gets improved.
Yep.
So if we aren't keeping track of body measurements, daily weight, whatever you believe in, if we don't know what those numbers are, we don't know how they're doing. We're floating in this gray zone of ambiguity, which also as the entrepreneurs watching this video, you should know your leads, you should know your conversion rate, you should know all that back end stuff. Couple quick things. Like I said, day to day, you can do that email access stuff.
Yep.
Week to week, you can have a weekly check-in sheet, and then month to month, you can do a group call.
And how long would this take a coach to service one client?
On a monthly basis, let's say maybe it takes you 3 minutes for that check-in each week, maybe 1 minute of answering a couple quick emails, and then maybe that group call. I'm not even going to count the group call because that's everyone. I would say about 25 to 30 minutes per month.
Cool. So
max.
30 minutes. Okay. So this is amazing. There's a couple of really great questions that have come in that I want us to be able to answer together as well. So let's just hit the pause button and make sure that we're all on top of this. So if you just look so far of what we've covered, if you look at the training and communication side of things, that means per client, you're only actually spending an hour per month on getting that. Now, granted, we haven't gone through absolutely everything, so there's a little bit more. The idea of what we're wanting to share with you right now is when you set up your coaching program correctly. Now, and there's obviously depending on the level of service that you want to be able to give. So what we're talking about, and Josh, you could definitely dive more into this as well, is on the typical basis of where Coaches Cartel members are using. This is something they're charging between like $200 to $300 a month for, right? So we're saying a couple of hours of work per month per client is charging for, let's say, $200 to $300 per month, which is extremely scalable, which means you can handle a lot more clients to be able to go through, which goes into the third question that we're going to answer on here. But there's been a couple of really good questions that have come through. One I just want to bring up is the question is, okay, what is if this person is actually a friend and you become their friend, or how do you balance that though as well? I totally understand that. I think if I had to kind of like pick up this question correctly, it's what if you have a client come on board and you become quite friendly with them, and obviously there is a bit of a blur between you being a client, you being their coach and you being a friend as well. This is great. My answer to this is I would separate when you are being the coach and client relationship and when there is a friend to friend relationship. And you just need to be able to make sure that there is a very clear boundary between the two of those. And that will usually just come with a very clean and clear conversation that you need to have with someone. I've had that happen all the time. And I think it's amazing as well. But it's also amazing only when you're very clear and you set the expectations of that relationship as well. A couple came through as well. That was someone said, "Oh, 15,000. That's amazing." Someone said, "Awesome." Someone else said 15,000, and then someone said, "Wow." that was really cool. I appreciate these comments
Thanks,
coming through.
guys.
Okay. Oh, so okay. So they've come back with another comment. When you have a client that was actually a friend before coming a client, where is the balance? Okay, I totally get that. I would answer it the exact same way. You're a friend. They come on. They say, "Hey, I want you to be my coach." And you go, "Great. When I'm your coach, this is how we're going to communicate. This is when everything's going to happen." So you set the boundaries, just like what Josh was saying before. And then there is a very clear, this is when I'm your coach, this is when I'm your friend. And you try to not blur those lines as well. Okay, dude, we've covered some really good stuff. We're a little ahead time, but I think we're delivering some value. If this is helpful for everyone watching as well, we've had plenty of likes and love hearts come up. Can you please tell us so? And if you have any other questions, please pop them straight into the comments as well. Josh, I want to talk about if the business model gets the coach to where they actually want to go. And I think we see this all the time when it comes to choosing the right business model for what someone needs to actually achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. Typically, the first thing we're going to talk about is money, because money in a business is the main scoreboard for us to know, are we winning, are we losing, are we making progress? And so what comes down to this is going to be what I usually say is in the old typical face-to-face personal training model. Let's say you're doing 30 sessions a week. You're charging $80 a session. That means you're going to earn a bit over $9,000 a month from that. Now, as any personal trainer would attest to, doing 30 sessions a week doesn't mean there's just 30 hours of training. There's all the back-end work that you have to do, and it becomes an absolute full-time job with that. So we're saying typically around that level of clientele in a face-to-face, you're earning $9,000 a month. That's great, but the bad side is you're in the gym 24/7 having to service those clients, and if you're not servicing those clients face-to-face, you're losing money, which is why we want to change the business model. So usually, actually, I'll just pause here for a second. I had a coffee with a mentor of mine yesterday, and I asked him a question: what's the difference between a business that earns a few million a year to someone that earns 100 million a year? And he goes, it's all model. And so this is where we have to understand as a business owner that we need to design our business to be able to be set correctly to achieve what we want. Because otherwise, the analogy I use is you're going to be climbing up the ladder of success, but the ladder's on the wrong wall. So let's not do that. Let's put the ladder on the right wall so the hard work that you're doing makes sense. Is this making sense for you so far, Josh? Because I know you deal with this a lot.
No, I love this. I'm totally on the same page with you. I love that. I love that mentor / friend told you that, because that's a very simple answer, but a very good answer.
Okay, let's rock with this. I'm going to get back to my iPad here and let's do some back of the napkin math to make sure that our business model gets you to where it is that you want to go. I'll clear ink here and let's do this. So when we look at it, the old model, what we were talking about before, let's say there's 30 sessions a week at $80 a session. That's $9,600 a month. The new, I'm just going to say newer model is going to be something where it's online coaching. Now, this is a great start, but is typically not the end goal after all of it. And that's going to be something like if you have 30 clients, 30 online clients, and you're, let's say, and you're charging them $300 a month, you will earn $9,000 a month. Now, very similar amount of income, but the difference is now you're being able to work from anywhere in the world. You can be at home, you can be in a home office, you can go to a workspace, you do wherever you want, where it is you can do it from, and your clients can be all over the world, and you don't have to be in that one section of time, in that one section of space to be able to deliver it. Another common model a lot of coaches are going towards is something a little bit more higher end. So let's say, for example, if you have 20 clients, but you're charging $650 a month, that means it's going to be $13,000 a month that you will earn from that. And another model that usually kicks in, which is when someone wants to be able to help more people and not charge a higher rate, but charge a lower rate and have a bigger scalability. And so we call this like a membership model. So let's say if you have 200 members, and you're charging them at $75 a month. So that's going to be like under $20 a week for the members, which is doing super easy for people to be able to say, yes, I can afford that. That's going to bring you $15,000 a month coming on through. And so the idea is you get away from the old model here and you start moving towards a smarter model that could be here or even progressing through. And then the idea is, as you go through this process, is, well, what if you can actually add them together? What if it is, let's say, for example, you had 30 online, whoops, I've got the wrong little texter here. My iPad's playing games on me. We had this last time.
This is a one-take show.
There we go. It's a one-take show. That's right. This is real. So the idea is, if you have 30 clients at 300 and you're able to do a membership model as well, because just like what we're talking about, if you scale the coaching, you create the coaching program in the right way, you can actually do this. Well, then you're earning well over $20,000 a month, which for a lot of coaches is like, yeah, like that's what they want to be able to go to. So that's just an example right now. Josh, when you have coaches coming to you with strategy sessions and they're saying, hey, I want to earn 100,000, maybe multiple six figures, what is typically the thing that you have to fix for them to be able to actually get there?
Number one, real answer, their mindset. Because this is actually what you did with me back in 2017. And honestly, you continue to do it with me now, which I appreciate. I'll give you some sort of a metric or a goal or a number, something I would like to achieve. And then whatever you do is you just say, well, Josh, why not double it?
Yep.
The 10K per month thing, the 5K per month thing, the 20K per month thing, the $100,000 a year thing, I think it'd be really powerful for me to actually mention. That's completely arbitrary and made up as to what is success and what isn't. To say this, most people watching this video are playing small and completely underestimating what they're capable of.
Ooh, I like that. Yep.
Based on that model we just went through, Chris, every coach here is sitting on about $250,000 a year and they don't even know it. So if we could just create a level of awareness around that and actually an empowering message around that of like, hey brother, hey sister, you're capable of so much more than you actually think. And we just showed you the math. This isn't hype motivational fluff. Look at the math. Look at the numbers. There are 7 billion people on this planet, with the large majority of them not looking, feeling, want to. What a beautiful scenario for you to be a fitness coach and to help people worldwide with that problem and those pains associated with the problems. Like, there are plenty of people out there that need help. So I think the place I always start is actually expanding their mindset. There's so much opportunity out there and people don't even realize it. Then second of all, we have to model them to where they want to get to. So after they tell me they want to make 100 grand, hey, honestly, based on this model that we set up for you, there is virtually, in terms of effort, what would be needed from you in terms of requirement of resources for you to go from 100 to 250.
Yeah.
And if most people could wrap their mind around that, that would be a game-changing event for them. So by far, number one is the mindset thing. Second thing is the actual model. And then the third thing is the day-to-day actions that they actually need to be taken, which I'm sure we could go deeper on. Maybe we could do some sort of a habit coaching session. But when you can go high level of, all right, where do I want to be? I challenge you to basically double it because I believe in you probably more than you believe in yourself, which is fine because that's what coaching is. Then I'll get you to the point where you believe you can get there yourself. Then second of all, get you in a model, get you in a vehicle that actually gets you to where you want to get to. because what a lot of coaches don't realize, and what I didn't realize in 2017 was, Chris, certain vehicles are destinations.
Yes.
You are not taking a bicycle up Mount Everest. You're going to need big old wheels with, and you've got to have the right people in the car to help you get there, right? So model, get you in the right vehicle to get you to the destination you want to get to. And then third of all, the day-to-day, what do you actually have to do day-to-day? That's what I talk about on those calls with people. I think those would be three great things for everyone to think about.
Dude, this is amazing. I just had an idea. What do you think about this? I think we should continue doing this. This has been amazing. We're just about to hit the 30-minute mark of this coaching session alone. Let's do another coaching session, same time, same place, next week. And what I want us to be able to cover is I want us to peel back exactly what you were talking about before. What are those habits? What are those actions? What are those behaviors to be able to get a coach that is actually going to build a successful online fitness business? And what I think would be really interesting, everyone watching right now, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it after we finished, I'd love for you to comment below with just what your income goal is. And then what we'll do in that session that we do next is we're going to use the exact income goals to give you the exact examples to actually go through that. And I think what would be amazing as well is if we get some coaches to join us live and we'll go through that scale plan, literally peeling it back step by step. And I appreciate that. Like someone just come through. You guys rock. No, you rock. And I appreciate you joining us. So thank you so much. But I think what would be really helpful for you is if we actually understand, number one, how much money do you want to be able to earn? So in the comments, put in what is your annual income goal that you want to be able to achieve. Then in the next step after that, we'll actually go through what are the habits, what are the behaviors, what are the actions, so then you can literally run for it and do exactly what it is, and then we can let you go. All right, someone's already started it, so this is amazing. $10,000 a month, let's go. I'm totally up for it. So we'll definitely use that 10K a month mark as well if more people keep coming through and letting us know. Josh, how do you think we went for the first time here, dude?
This was so much fun. I could do this almost every day of my life. I will say this before we go. Thanks to everyone for being here. This is a lot of fun, as you can tell, for Chris and I to do. So we get a lot out of this as well. So thank you for taking your most valuable time out of your day or evening, wherever you're at in the world. Most valuable resource, your time. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Chris and I aren't these guys that wanted to go get really successful and then go hide. We wanted to get successful so that they're just like us 5-10 years ago and return to help you. So we appreciate you. We love you. Seriously.
Love it, dude. I appreciate you, Josh, for jumping on with me. I think we're going to keep this train rolling along. For everyone that's joined us live and not live, thank you so much for being here as well. Make sure you comment below with everything so that I can set through. If you are not on our Cartel VIP email list, maybe just comment below with list, and I'll make sure I send you through the DM, because then you'll get the actual emails with when we're doing these free coaching sessions, so you can come and join us and be able to get access to all that stuff as well. As always, thank you so much for being here, and we're looking forward to jamming with you next time. Keep on keeping on.